welcome our magnificent mascot, Spikey! Toivotetaan tervetulleeksi upean maskottimme, Latvia saada musun talismanu Spikey!
Uzvarēsim! Uzvarēsim!
Sveiki, sveiki!
We're gonna win today! Canada goes home! We're gonna defend the European title!
Warning, the previous show contains flashing lights, images, and loud sounds. Operators, all the shows
Good morning.
Vakar bija kaut kāda? Protams. Māma, labi.
welcome the game officials for this game. Tervetuloa ottelun tuomariin.
Semifinal Saturday has arrived at the 2023 World Hockey Championship. It is Canada against Latvia in the first semifinal. Later on tonight, it'll be the United States against Germany. And this city, a couple hours north of Helsinki, has been annexed by Latvia. Thousands of Latvian fans have made the trip here by air, by ferry, you name it, after their team shocked Sweden in the quarterfinals to advance to the Final Four for the first time at a World Championship. They were loud in Riga. They're loud here tonight. And they'll try to advance to the gold medal game against a Canadian team that's been there 6 of the last 7 times at the World Championship.
It's going to be a challenge, but with this kind of support that pushed them through the round robin and the quarterfinals in Riga, there'll be a stiff test for Canada.
Latvia has won 6 straight after losing its first 2 games, including a 6-0 defeat to Canada in the tournament opener for both teams. Christian Rubin's a late addition for Latvia after they had some injury problems. And Ethan Bear out of the lineup for Canada today after being slashed at the end of the Canada-Finland quarterfinal. Mikko Kakakori, Sean McFarland are the 2 referees for the game today. Andre Tourigny was an assistant coach for Canada, won a silver medal in this building as Canada fell to Finland in overtime in the gold medal game. Aris Vitalic won a gold medal for Russia at the 2014 World Championship as their head coach. Second year as their national team head coach. Latvia's beaten Canada once all time at the World Championship. That was 2 years ago in Riga, the tournament opener. They beat Canada 2-0. Canada won the first meeting this year 6-0. There are some Canadian fans in attendance, but they are badly outnumbered here this afternoon. Bit of an earlier start here today, just after 2:15 local time. Heading for the bronze and gold medal games tomorrow. Latvia was badly outshot in its win against Sweden, 41-15. Artur Silovs was brilliant in that game for Latvia. They have more World Championship experience than any team in the tournament. 12 of their players have played at least 4 World Championships. Samuel Montembeault, the 26-year-old from Bécancour, Quebec, gets the start, sports a .949 save percentage in the tournament. And there is Silov, who took over 5 minutes into that game against Canada and has played every minute since then. A draft pick of the Vancouver Canucks, 6th round in 2019. Canada's the home team, has the last change. And here we go. Canada scored twice on its first 2 shots in the first 5 minutes of the game in Riga, but that was 15 days ago. This is a very different Latvian group. Carcone comes in along with McBain, and Jack McBain spills Samolska. Back up by Kristaps Zile. Or Baltzers. Rudolf Baltzers. Plays for Syracuse in the American Hockey League. Bumped around in the NHL this year. That's knocked down by Tyler Toffoli, brought back in by Dogovic. The captain shoots, and Montembeault steers that away. It was Dogovic who scored the key goal that got Latvia into the Final 8 of the tournament. The tying goal against Switzerland late in the last game of the preliminary round. They won the game in overtime, but it was the point getting to overtime that got them into the quarters.
In many ways, Latvia has been playing playoff games the last 4 that they've played, and they found a way to get it done against Switzerland, then shock Sweden in front of a packed and then some house in Riga. I wonder how much leaving the home rink and the home crowd will affect them here now in Tampere.
Well, it sounds a lot like their home rink, doesn't it?
It's a beautiful sight for the Riga fans and the players.
That pass was off the skate of Tyler Myers, so Canada down to 6 deep, basically an NHL lineup, 12 forward, 6 defensemen. Joe Veleno suspended, so Canada started the tournament with 13 forward, 7D, down to 12 and 6. Jack Quinn goes after it against Christian Rubins, who played 3 NHL games for Toronto last year. Spent this year primarily with Calgary of the American Hockey League. As Joseph goes back, a nicely called against the Latvians.
You mentioned the injury to Ethan Bear, so now 6 defensemen. Ethan Bear is averaging 15 minutes per game. You have to find a way to distribute those 15 minutes to the remaining 6 guys. Everyone can pick up 2 or 3, but Justin Barron's the one guy's going to have to play 4 or 5 minutes more than he has previously as a 7th defenseman.
Peyton Krebs, number 2 in the tournament face-off percentage, won that one as it's flipped back in. Here's Rubich with it. Lead pass for Luchmelis. Picked up by Justin Barron, swings it back around. Here's Jake Neighbors with it. Neighbors picks that puck free and bumps it ahead for Krebs. Chips for Neighbors. And Canada comes in 3 wide. For the trailer, Barron in, shoots. Seelov's the save. And Drosh is back with it the other way. Can't clear it out. Knocked back in by Hunt. And Hunt shoots. Whistle that just wide. Barron holds the puck at the line for Canada. Banks that back down to Sammy Blais. And Blais feeds it across to Hunt. Shoots again. That goes just wide. Droshies. Rink wide to Richard's Bucharts. That's poked away by Tyler Myers. Cody Glass winds in. Comes that pass across for Adam Fantilli. And Fantilli, the 18-year-old, bumps that around. 7 members of this Canadian team are 22 years of age or younger, including Fantilli, the 4th youngest player in the tournament. Krastenbergs feeds that in. And Montebo leaves it there for Myers. Rattles it high off the glass. The puck goes over and out. There's a carom off the plexiglass.
The best chance of the game goes to Justin Barron. He's jumping up in the play. In this 4th layer of attack, you see Barron, number 20, waiting for it to develop. Gets inside Bucharts, and he's in alone. He's got play as an option as well, but Seelovs, this is a massive save because it was an early deficit to Canada. Really got that first game away from Latvia. It was 2-0 5 minutes in. Seelovs keeps it scoreless early.
Latvia's 5-0 and scoring first in this tournament. Carconi with it, lifts it high in the air. Coach Aristoteles talked about his team regrouping after that win over Sweden, refocusing. Massive celebration in Riga after the win. There were 9,000 fans in the building and 7,000 outside in the fan zone. Carconi with it now. Bowls his way back in front. Poke check by Seelovs. Mackenzie Weegar fires. That goes wide. And Balcer's back with it for Latvia. Skips that ahead for Kaspers Dogovic, playing in his 11th World Championship. Turned 35 during this tournament.
Having a fantastic tournament, ending on a strong note. Really good the last 3-4 games on the #1 line.
Hunt skates that out. Looks ahead for Lawson Krause. That's knocked down by Janis Jaks, who scored one of the key goals in that win over Sweden in the quarterfinal. Brought in out by Scott Lawton. Feeds it across. Held and fired on goal by Jack Quinn. And Seelovs got a piece of that.
Another good save by Seelovs. Jack Quinn's also another player who's getting better as this tournament goes along. He's looking for a one-timer. He's got to hang on his backhand. Oh, there's a little bit of room up there. He missed his target by about 6 inches. Jack Quinn. His role is growing as the tournament's gone along.
We had a chance to talk yesterday with Andre Tournier, the Canadian coach, Mackenzie Weegar, and Tyler Toffoli, and asked all 3 of them if there's something that surprised them so far. As Myers feeds that back in front. Long with a drive. Seelovs the save. All 3 right away mentioned Jack Quinn. Indrashis fires out wide of the goal. Myers back on it. Lays it back around to Joseph. Laid back in by Dan Luchmelis. And a move back down the ice. Icing call against Canada.
You had a feeling that it was really important for Latvia to keep this game close early. You don't want to go down to start and be chasing the game. You see a good job by Stay getting the stick away from Jack Quinn as he was looking for a rebound.
Lawton for the face-off, also among the tournament leaders in face-off percentage.
Took a bit of a hit on his percentage last game against Finland, his first sort of off night.
Off the draw, Bucharts plays it back, and that shot by Freibergs goes wide. Here's Tyler Myers back on it. To center ice he goes. That's knocked down by Luchmelis. Plays it back around, and Pierre-Olivier Joseph races to it. Joseph gains the blue line, feeds that back across. Krause centers it. That just missed the stick of Joseph, who had jumped up. And Luchmelis tries to poke that by Weegar, who races back. Here's Krebs back for it.
That's a tight icing call.
Really tight icing call. Might have been a millimeter on this side of center ice.
There for a reason, and really, Latvia, the crowds, the support, and the scene in Riga are kind of the story of this tournament up to this point.
Yeah. They got a second chance to host after 2021 when in the middle of the pandemic, the players were bubbled. There was a curfew in the city. The attendance was almost completely barred. So they got a second chance at it. Man, did they go with it. The Canadian players, to a man, talking about what an extraordinary experience they had in Riga. Toffoli said he didn't have a bad meal when he was there. Ronald's Kenich plays at the center ice, finds Lochmelis, who got away from Krebs. Lochmelis works in. Tom Anderson's moved to the front of the goal, couldn't find him with a pass. Now the referee spilled as Krebs skated through him. Brought back out now by Jake Neighbors. Neighbors with Middleton jumping in, drops to the trailer. Uyghur in, shoots, that goes high. Two Canadian defensemen in deep there. And Kenich plays it back in, that's picked off by Krebs. Smirnov steps into him. Krebs tries to kick that free. Neighbors in there as well. At the point, Middleton shoots, flutters back to the corner. Neighbors feeds that down to Sammy Blais. Blais back across to Krebs. To the point he goes to Hunt. Across to Barron. Barron shoots. That whistle just wide. On the other side, poked back in front by Blais. And picked off by Smirnovs. Smirnovs works his way in. That's lifted wide by Andersons. Brought back up by Andersons for Zile. Kristaps Zile slings that across for Yaks. Fantilli closes quickly on him. Here's Barron back on it. On his backhand, a tough play, flips it ahead for Fantilli. And Fantilli winds away. Back across to Hunt. 6 gone here in the opening period. Shots are 3-2 in favor of Canada. Here's Milan Lucic winding in. Lucic. Pivots back in the corner for Fantilli. Shoots. Silovs a save. Rebound back in front. Skips back to Uyghur. Uyghur takes a return pass from Middleton. Shoots. That goes wide again. Fantilli. Short side chance at the side of the goal. Last knockdown. And Rubic plays it back across from Abols. Rodrigo Abols. But Rudolph Balcers the plays offside at the Canadian line. No score here in the first period. The semifinals are here at the World Hockey Championship. To go here in the opening period. No score from Canada and Latvia. Canada 11-1 all time against the Latvians. Maybe Latvia's greatest game against Canada was in the 2014 Olympics in Sochi. One of the strongest Canadian Olympic teams we've ever seen with NHL players. They rolled through that tournament, but for the quarterfinal. A 2-1 win over Latvia. Took a Shea Weber goal in the third period to break it open. Christos Gudlevskis was the goalie of that game. He stopped 55 of 57 shots in the game. He's the backup here tonight. But
it might be that kind of game again for Latvia. Not the star power, but Latvia is comfortable getting outshot and playing in their own end. They prefer not to be, but they don't panic with the idea that they're not getting a lot of chances. They will stay patient and trust in their goaltender and opportunistic offense. It's worked so far.
Has that knocked away by Toffoli and McBain after it. Rubic pokes at that. Bouncing puck goes high in the air. Poke free by Toffoli for a moment. Now Dogovic has it back. Maybe the key moment for Latvia, an overtime win over Czechia in the third game. Came back to win that game. That started a 6-game winning streak. Uyghur pokes it back to center ice. Carconi moves in on Chukste, and that play is called offside at the Latvian line. Hard to hear the whistles here.
Yeah. On your toes. Interesting to see that Latvia's really taken off since they loaded up their first line.
Right.
With Dogovic, with Abols and Balsers. And Canada, for the first one of the few times this tournament, is looking to match Middleton and Uyghur and Jack McBain's line out against Abols' line whenever they can conveniently.
Lott gets a warning on the face-off out against Oscar's Batya, who scored the overtime goal in that game against the Czechs. Bounced away from Uvis Balinskas. These Latvian players played 11 leagues in 8 different countries. As Lawton tries to poke that ahead. Knocked away by Balinskas, and the puck loose at center ice. Zirkals, a Toronto Maple Leaf draft pick, tied up by Myers, and the puck back to center ice. Balinskas fires that back in. Around it goes for Myers. Myers got his pocket picked by Zirkals. Works it loose in the corner. Feeds it back from the point to Zile. Shoots at deflected wide. Lawton races to it. Back around to Quinn. Played back by Batya, but the pass drove Zile up top. Chukstad lays it back around. Here's Neighbors on it. Aaron leaves it there for Joseph. It's chipped out by Quinn. A race for it now. Neighbors getting to it, but Yak's knocked that away. Zile tied up by Jack Quinn at center ice. Rihards Bukarts brings it in. Drops it off to Indrashis. Indrashis back in the border. Zile shoots. Knocked down in front. Rebound. Oh, what a save by Montevo. Rebound. Score! Mellis picked the puck out and gives Latvia the lead.
Opportunistic offense. This is what Latvia is all about. They get to the rebound. The initial shot is blocked, but Bukarts jump on the rebound. Montevo makes a pretty exceptional save on the rebound here. And then Mellis picks the puck up on the angle, dumps it in past Sam Montevo. Just what Latvia needed. Out to the early lead. There was some confidence against the team that beat them 6-0 2 weeks ago. Mellis was inserted in the lineup late.
Has 2 goals in the tournament. One in the quarterfinal against Sweden, and now in the semifinal.
Timing's everything. And
he's going to UMass next year. He's a 19-year-old. He'll be playing in the NCAA next year. Latvia has the lead.
Latvia on the first goal, scored by number 85.
Freeberg. Lays that back in, and now Barron back for it. And that's icing called against the Latvians.
A moment where Canada had lots of bodies back, but not really tied up. Justin Barron falling loose puck, hits his stick, and he never really identifies Mellis on his weak side. Latvia just a little bit quicker to the loose pucks to open the scoring.
Actually called offside at the Canadian lines, and now Barron with it. Justin Barron fires that back down, took a funny bounce off the sideboards, goes right to Neighbors. Round he goes to Krebs. Peyton Krebs spins that back to Hunt. Across he goes to Barron. Barron shoots, it goes off a skate and wide. Krebs back on it. Blay poked that free at the point. Hunt with a long shot that's knocked down by Sabolskas. Krostenbergs threads it in for Kenich as back goes Hunt for it. It's bumped in the corner. Now Barron feeds out ahead to Krebs. Krebs got knocked off the puck by Abols, and Neighbors feeds it back down to the Latvian zone. Uvis Balinskas signed to play next year for the Florida Panthers. Slides it ahead to Dogovic. Dogovic got spun around. Here's Lucic on it. Line Lucic. Kane center ice. Winds his way across the line. Lucic. Winds it back, trying to find Uyghur with that pass. And now Fantilli taken down in the corner by Sabolskas, or by Balinskas. Rink wide pass. Goes to Rubic. Rubic drops it back for Dogovic. Winds his way and feeds across. Balcers couldn't corral that pass. Now he's got it back. Balcers moves away from Middleton. Plays that back to Rubic. That skipped off Fantilli. Uyghur plays it back around, picked up by Cody Glass as Canada breaks out 3 wide. In comes Glass along with Lucic and Fantilli. Glass winds and fires, put that just wide. They bang away at Fantilli with a chance. Silov's down, just keeps that on the line. 1:54 to go here in the opening period. Latvia leads 1-0. Off in the Latvian zone, McBain against Lakmelis, who has the Latvian goal. Got it to Foley, reaching for it. 8 years ago, Toffoli was a 22-year-old playing for Canada as a kid of the World Junior. Now he's the graybeard, the veteran guy to these young players. Carcone pivots back. Carcone stays on it, banks that back to Myers. Plays it back in deep for McBain. Jack McBain pivots back in the corner. Lakmelis pulls that to the front. Silov's down to a jam play. The side of the goal bounces back. Backhand jump by Toffoli, hit the goalpost. Joseph back on it. Back around to Carcone. And Carcone threads that pass in front. Bounced away, and Bukarts pulls it up. Cross for Indrashis, poked away by Myers. Carcone snaps that pass across to Toffoli. Canada in the midst of a change as Toffoli winds that in deep. After it goes Lott. Tries to knock that free. Lakmelis back on it. Kraus comes in with a big hit. Down the line by Middleton. The Uyghur shoots. That was blocked. Zila got in the way of that. 3 yards, Bukarts. Lost the puck at the corner. Indrashis brings it around, but it's knocked down by Quinn. Quinn back around the Lott. Feeds that back at the point to Middleton. Middleton winds and shoots. It got through. Silovs makes the stop. And there's no rebound. Quinn was looking for one.
Canada going back to work in the offensive zone. Point shots and plays from below the goal line. Tyler Toffoli looking to get open, gets it on his backhand. This is a pretty good backhander with Yak draped all over top of him. Prior to that, Cody Glass in a great scoring spot. Just sails it wide. And the rebound almost carries him on Silovs. This is what the offense will look like for Canada. It'll be point shot driven, shot rebound, and plays in and around the goal line. They get their offense from.
At center ice, that skips away from Barron. He hustles back. Justin Barron of the Montreal Canadiens. Trying to play that around the wall was sealed by Andersons. Sabolskas pulls that free. Back at the point he goes. Polinskas shoots. That goes wide. Out the other side. Krebs gathers it back up. Off the glass he goes. It's knocked down by Neighbors. Throws that back to center ice, and Krastenbergs has it back for Latvia. Here's Krastenbergs, another late ad for the Latvians who had some injury troubles early in the tournament. Rubich winds in. Trying to slide that back for Andersons. It's picked off, and Neighbors was bumped off the puck by Andersons. Yes, the Latvians brought their drums.
Imagine the baggage check on some of those flights would have been interesting. Oversized items aplenty.
Middleton gains center ice and wraps that back down to the Latvian zone. Silovs knocks it back. He played 5 games for the Canucks this year. Spent most of the season with Abbotsford, the American League. That shot floats wide by Quinn. Kraus brings it back around. Here's Quinn on it. Young Buffalo Sabres star picks it back in the corner. Finds Lott. And Scott Lott. Backhands that back for Middleton. Looks back down to Quinn. Quinn below the goal line, crisscrossing with Uyghur. Drops it back off. Middleton shoots and just missed the stick of Lawton there. Quinn back on it. Good offensive zone pressure. Now Quinn shoots, hit a leg, and Freibergs has it back. Bangs that back down to the Canadian zone, and these tired Latvians will have to stay out after icing is called against Latvia. Patient
shift in the offensive zone. Once again, you get possession, you work the outside, low to high. One thing to watch, though, Gordon, as this game goes along is if Latvia's going to play in their own end a lot, how will the referees look at the tugs and the little hooking and the interference, the defensive plays?
Off the draw, Fantilli, a shot that goes off a stick, up and out of play.
Because they're letting them play, which is good. But if you're the team with the puck all the time, it's a little easier to defend when you can push the envelope. Maybe more than in games we've seen in this tournament.
Latvia will play for a medal this weekend for the first time at a top-level event in an IIHF competition. That's the under-18s, the World Junior, the World Championship, women's hockey, any of it. This is as far as Latvia's ever gone. The best ever finished in the World Championship, 7th 3 times. Those are 3 quarterfinal matches. They survived some relegation scares, but this is their 26th consecutive year in the top division. The first time they appeared was in 1997. They tied Canada 3-3 that year at the World Championship. Fantilli down to Lucic. Milan Lucic lays that back to Uyghur and skipped away from him and back down the ice. Mont about to play it, and threaded it just past Batya. In comes Fantilli. Adam Fantilli trying to center that. It was knocked away from Lucic. He was taken down by Sabalskis. Middleton pokes that free for Fantilli. Adam Fantilli centers it, tip wide by Glass. Glass back after it. Knocked down by Lucic. Milan Lucic in, shoots, that deflected wide. Fantilli back on it. Lucic on the forecheck. More good pressure now from Canada, but it rolls off Fantilli's stick. Batya knocks it out to center ice. Jake Middleton plays it across to Uyghur, the Nepean Ontario native. Fires it right down Seelovs at the play it. Feeds it back across to Freyberg. Luck-Mellis wides back in. Luck-Mellis gets a step, shoots. Montebo save, and he freezes the rebound. Another good dash there for the 19-year-old Dan Luck-Mellis, who has the Latvian goal in a 1-0 lead. The opening period, Latvia leading Canada 1-0. Later today, the United States and Germany will play the second semifinal. Here's Zile with it. Zile shoots, it goes off the leg of Toffoli and back out. Either the U.S. or Germany will play in the gold medal game for the first time since this format was adopted in 1992.
It's an unusual group of semifinalists and Canada.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 teams in the semifinals have never played the gold medal game. There were sporadic gold medal games in the early years of this tournament, but this format, 16 teams, 2 groups of 8, quarterfinals, semifinals, gold medal game, that was adopted 31 years ago. 7 different countries have played in the gold medal game since then. 3 of these 4 aren't among them. Aaron fires that down, skip back in front. Chukste knocked that away. Here's Anderson's with it. Tom's Anderson takes the return pass from Smirnovs, centers it, that's knocked away by Quinn. The puck not moved out. Chukste a long shot, and Montebo makes the save.
I think there's a little more tension in the air now that Canada's trailing 1-0. Latvia rush down the ice. Canada close to the puck, but not quite stopping on it, not making good decisions when they get it. And Chukste has a chance to walk in over this or that. about swallows up.
Analytics showed that Sweden had a 94% chance of winning that game against Latvia on Thursday night. Shots we mentioned 41-15 in favor of the Swedes. As Krebs kicks that down.
A great equalizer.
Moved out by Smirnovs. Chopped up by Joseph. Brought in by Blay. Drops that rink wide and on the line. Myers couldn't hold it. Canada has to tag up here as A-Balls brings it out. Tap back in by Joseph. That's onside. Joseph works it and shoots from a sharp angle. That goes wide.
Awareness by Blay to fake touching it, and Joseph to wait for it to go over the blue line to reload on the offside.
Winger has it picked off by A-Balls as Middleton steps off the bench. Winger back across to Middleton. Lifts up the center ice. And Belinskas chips that back ahead. To Foley. Lead pass for Carcone just misfired. And Carcone comes in hard. Big hit there on Zile. Belinskas. Laid that back around. It's picked off, and in comes McBain. Looks for it to Foley. And McBain goes charging to the front of the goal. Belinskas plays that back around. Uyghur had that chipped away by Dogovic. And back goes Middleton for it with Batya closing quickly. Uyghur throws out a hit at the stick of Adam Fantilli. Fantilli with it. Little dance in the corner. Fantilli still on it. Fantilli throws that back in front. In comes Myers. Walks right in. Poke check there by Rubic. Now off the line. Fantilli a long shot. Bounce back through. Roberts Bukarts has it back for Latvia. Up end for Rubic. The defenseman leading the rush now for Latvia. Plays it back in the corner. Myers goes back. Good shoulder check. Myers pulls that free. Myers bangs it off the glass and back down to the Latvian zone as Chukste goes back. Almost a wholesale change for Canada. Now Lucic makes his way off. Barrett. Bumped there by Rihards Bukarts. Quinn chips it across to Lawton. Lawton. Long rink wide pass. Joseph had jumped up, but Chukste takes that away. And Joseph hammers down Indrashis as Barron goes back for it. Chipped ahead by Krause. That'll be icing against Canada. 2:42 to go in the first period.
But all you can hope for Latvia, you have to be so impressed how they have been able to reload emotionally. We weren't playing in the games, and you could feel the emotion of the play-in game against Switzerland when they needed a point, and then of the quarterfinals where it was a national celebration, and then try to gear up and do it again against a better team. And they've come out and done what they needed to do in the first period.
Latvia beat Canada the opener in the 2021 tournament. Latvian fans left flowers on the steps of the Canadian embassy in Riga. As Barron plays that back in. Did the same thing the other night at the Swedish embassy. Krassenberg's plays that in Latvian country, about 1.8 million people. A million of them live in Riga. That pass goes off a skate, makes the center ice to Quinn. Quinn winds in with Krause. Jack Quinn comes dashing in now for Canada. Down in the corner now. Smirnovs drops that back to Belinskas. 2 to go here in the opening period. Sabolskas for Zile. Dogovic goes rink wide. A-Balls moving in. Rodrigo A-Balls drops it back. Balsers had that poked away by Myers. And Canada back the other way. Krebs. Rink wide pass to Joseph jumping in. Here Olivier Joseph shoots. That goes wide. Blay back after it. Sammy Blay. Tried to center that. It was blocked by A-Balls. Here's Dogovic with it. Starts a 3 NHL seasons for Kasper Dogovic with Boston and Ottawa. Spent this year playing for Iserlohn in Germany. Zile back around for Yax. Krebs moved up on him. And now Zirkal's back with it. Race for the puck at center ice. Krebs tries to poke that ahead. And Uyghur Lines it up for Fantilli. Adam Fantilli for Uyghur. Slaps it back down the Latvian zone. Silov's had to be careful with that, as Lucic was bearing in on him. Roberts Bukarts. Plays it for Yax, drops it off for Zirkal, shoots! That's blocked by Middleton. Fantilli up for Lucic, and the puck bounced off his hand into the Canadian bench.
Canada had a stretch of really good forechecking play. They got to be physical. Got to limit the first touch effectiveness of the Latvian defenders. If they can get the defensemen to have to stop on the puck or eat the puck, then they'll be in good shape. If they make a good first touch, then the forecheck is a lot harder to execute.
Off the draw, Rubins plays that back to Chukste. And Drashis skates away from Uyghur. Bouncing puck to Foley, reaching for it. And Middleton now gets to it. Middleton off the glass. Carconi chipped that. Now it's knocked back down the line. In comes Drashis, shoots. Montebo saved. Rebound. Better stop there by Montebo and Drashis. Turnover was costing Canada there. Now Carconi brings it out. Plays it across to Foley. To Foley. Knocked down by Rubins and played back to center ice. Drashis looks ahead for Rihards. Bukarts moves it on Myers. Plays it back. Rubins a shot that was blocked by McBain, and time expires here in the opening period. Canada with a slight edge in shots, but Latvia has the only goal of the game so far from Dan Zlokmelis.
And almost a second huge one late, and Drashis takes advantage of the Carconi turnover, as you mentioned, and challenges Montembeault a couple times. Latvia, however they got there, the fact that they're leading after one is exactly where they need to be.
Semi-final day of the 2023 World Hockey Championship in Tampere, Finland.
Low adversity.
Some days it can be difficult to get through to each other at work. Other days, it can also be as simple as something else accidentally getting in the way. Then, suddenly, one day, the pieces fall into place without you being able to say exactly why. Here at AG Products, we consult Louis Robinson Luck, year in year to help you design a better workplace. Have a better day of work.
world's greatest hedge.
Talk to the boys about the after the whistle stuff, okay? Come on. We're good! Tyler, thank you! Hey! Let's go! Come on, Red. Come on. Here we go. Amp it up. Come on. Here we go. Push fans up.
Melis led the Swedish junior league this year in goals and points. He has the only goal of the opening period. Jake Middleton and Mackenzie Weegar played a ton, about 9 minutes each. And a 1-0 lead for Latvia after the opening 20 minutes of this semi-final game here in Tampere. 1 goal against on 7 shots for Sam Montembeault. There's a 4-1 record for Canada in the tournament, and then Arthur Seelov's made some terrific stops on the 9 Canadian shots. Still sporting the Vancouver Canucks gear. Got fans in Vancouver pretty excited about his performance here.
Not going to change anything now, the way he's rolling in this tournament. Latvia will love their first period. They love the result. Canada won't mind it either. They're going to play the offensive zone and look for the next one, which will be pivotal in this game.
Here we go, boys, another good one. White down. White. Red. Down.
Sean McFarland from the United States gets the drop 3. The 4 officials are from the U.S. Weegar goes back, tied up there by A-Balls, plays it back around for Toffoli. Toffoli for Carconi. Michael Carconi, a pending NHL free agent, winds his way in. He hasn't hurt his stock in this tournament either, as McBain drops it back. Carconi away from Dogovic. Slides that back across, poked away by Zile. Off the glass and back to center. Chopped back by Weegar. Lukas Smolinskas plays in the check. I think like a lot of these Latvian players. Up back down to the Canadian zone as Joseph has it. Taken down by Batney in the corner. There's still not been a penalty called in this game. Lead pass from Lawson Krause, who swings that rink wide. Scott Lawton after him, but Yaks knocked that away. Lawton trying to work it free. Middleton comes in. A lot of the fans still trying to get back in. They got trapped out of the beer stands between periods. Now after it is Zirkals. Zirkals throws it back in front. Quick chance there for Roberts. Bukarc turned away by Montembeault.
It beats the puck below the goal line. He jumps on it for a good look.
Latvia changing. Quinn fires that back down, knocked down by Rubins. Rubins joined the Latvian team, and this is going to be a 2-minute man of the ice penalty against Canada. Rubins joined them after his American League season ended, but the sloppy change at the Canadian end will give Latvia the game's first power play.
Jake Neighbors, it hit his skate, and he was going to go serve it, but as a guy who kills penalties, he gets waved back on. Lawton's going off. Craig has already jumped.
So did he play that puck? Kind of looks like...
Well, it hit his skate, and it stops it from getting to the Latvian player ahead. So yeah, he played it. So that's a good call. And there's a chance that he catches a leg off the toe of Montembeault from Bukarc.
Latvian power play has been good. 6 for 28, scored a big one in the game against Sweden. Canada's penalty killing has been exemplary, allowing just 2 goals on 26 opposition opportunities. Canada's been short-handed more than any team. Lawton wins that face-off, and it's pounded down the ice by Weegar. So even more time for Weegar and Middleton on this Canadian penalty kill. Krause back after it. Brought up by Toms Anderson. Rodrigo A-Balls leads the way. He's got the puck now. He's got 2 power play goals in the tournament. In comes A-Balls with it. Walks right in, feeds it back in front. That skipped away from Dogovic. Out of the line by Balsers. Rossi goes for Bolinskas. Pass is picked off by Middleton. Canada's got some time with Lawton streaking ahead.
Just couldn't find the angle. Didn't want to force it through sticks. Couldn't find an angle to bank it to him. And then to get it down.
It was Balinskis for A-balls. Vancouver's 7th round pick in 2016. He's been a couple years playing major junior hockey in North America. That's knocked out by Joseph. That's going to be a slash. And Canada's going to be 2 down for 59 seconds. And there's the evidence.
Big moment that Pierre-Olivier Joseph slashes in the hands of Indrasis, breaks his stick right in half right there, and that's going to be called. So a full 59 seconds, 5-on-3. Huge moment for Latvia, an opportunity to extend to 2. This next goal is pivotal in this game. And Latvia, a great opportunity here.
Middleton and Uyghur, the defenseman, Lawton the forward. And the big guys out for Latvia. A-balls for the face-off against Lawton. Face-off won and fired down the ice by Uyghur. Face-offs aren't everything.
When you're down 5-on-3, they're a lot.
Dogovic has a roll off his stick. Middleton turns with him. Dogovic steams back in. The pass picked off by Uyghur. A-balls feeds that back down to Baltzers. Baltzers for Dogovic.
They're still pressing on down 5-on-3. Look at Canada run for the puck.
Uyghur wraps it around. Yaks trying to hold it. Does. Yanis Yaks feeds that back to Balinskis. Across to Dogovic. 2 Latvians standing in front. Dogovic's shot goes off the leg of Lawton. 15 seconds to go in the first Canadian penalty. Dogovic steps up. Dogovic feeds it back across. Balinskis. Back for Dogovic.
Got to get it down to the net at some point.
Dogovic feeds it back across for Balinskis. Final seconds of the first penalty. Off the glass goes Middleton. Outsteps Blaine. And Lawton knocks that down. Almost a breakaway there for Sammy Blaine. And now fired back down by Middleton.
Terrific stuff from Middleton and Uyghur.
Almost a misplay behind the goal by Seelovs there. Now Myers comes out along with Barron on the penalty kill for Canada. Yaks jumps right into Barron, bouncing puck in front, knocked down by Myers. Lifts it off the glass and back down. A race for it now. Neighbors against Seeley. And Neighbors wins that race for the puck. Throws it back in front. Seelovs makes the save on the short-handed bid there by Jake Neighbors. Zirkov moves it across the line, but it's offside at the Canadian line.
Here's where Canada's lack of depth, Ethan Bear injury really hurts them. They have Middleton and Uyghur killing. They have to go off at some point. Justin Barron hasn't killed the second of penalties all tournament long. He's got to go out in a pivotal point with Myers, with Joseph in the box. Everyone getting slotted out a little further up for Canada than they comfortably could, and Mackenzie Uyghur can only play so much. Him and Middleton are going to be pushing 30 minutes, and Middleton,
we're going to find out how much.
As great as he's been, you know, he's not Rob Niedermeyer out there skating around. Like, he worked hard to play his minutes. So you just wonder how good Middleton can be after 27, 28 minutes.
As Freeberg's and Uyghur into it. Freeberg's a former Bowling Green State University Falcon.
You know, he's not going to back down from anybody.
As when you go to the Harvard of the Midwest, as Freeberg's and our Mike Johnson did.
That's correct. He's actually had a good tournament. Scored a big goal.
Real good tournament. Montembeault back to stop it. Taken it by Indrasis. Pivots back in the corner, slides that back to Chukste. Chukste or Indrasis. Final seconds of Latvian power play. Bang back, Chukste holds it. Being shadowed there by Lawton. Indrasis feeds it back across. It goes off a skate as Joseph steps back up for Canada. No shots for Latvia on that long power play, including a 5-on-3 for 59 seconds. Uyghur, end of a long shift for him by Freeberg. It's going to get longer now as icing is called against Canada.
A really important moment for Canada. Their penalty kill, which you mentioned has been fantastic, was at 92% coming into the game. And does the job as Uyghur and Freebergs go back and forth before the face-off, and then why not after the face-off? Sit down. you're going to try to make the game difficult for Uyghur. He's going to play so many minutes, make them as hard as possible for Latvia.
Off the face-off, Lawton wins it for Uyghur. Up ahead for Kraus. Not far enough to get Canada's players off the ice, but now Middleton has it. Uyghur will buy some time. Snap it ahead for Middleton. And Uyghur gets off as Middleton slaps that back down to the Latvian zone. Picked up by Karkoni.
Canada's got to get back to the forecheck. They haven't been down there after all these penalties in the second period very much.
Krastenbergs moves in on Myers, and Myers sweeps that away. Up for it to Foley. For Jack McBain, that pass broken up by Krastenberg, stolen back by Myers. Lead pass for it to Foley. Tyler Toffoli tees it up and shoots. Glove by Seelovs. Hangs onto that. Karkoni got spilled in front by Rubens. Now some pushing and shoving breaks out in front of the Latvian netminder.
Latvia wants to maintain their poise. They just had 2 power plays in quick succession, although neither of which is really a judgment call. Too many men and a broken stick. But extra shots around the pile are going to get someone in the penalty box, and you don't want it to be you. Smirnovs and Rubens, that's okay one time, but don't want it a second time. And it looks like they're taking somebody here. Maybe
are they taking 2?
Both? Karkoni and
Sabalskas will go for Latvia. It'll be McBain for Canada.
Latvia is a team that wants to defend. You want to have as many guys on the ice as possible when you're defending. 4-on-4 opens things up a little bit. Latvia they'll regret that power play. Spent too much time on the 5-on-3, rotating around the top and not really attacking the net, looking for a perfect shot. They got nothing from it.
When they lost their second game to Slovakia, their power play misfired a number of times in that game. One back down to the Latvian zone by A-balls and picked up by Belinskas. So 4-on-4 here. 5.5 gone to the second period. Lead pass for Dogovic moving in. Dogovic shoots. It goes off the stick of Myers up and out of play.
Tyler Myers and Jack Quinn have to talk that out. Who is covering the wide lane? Because Quinn is playing inside, and Myers thinks he's got outside, which left Dogovic a little too open. Someone's got to communicate. Even if it's a busted system play, you got to yell at the guy, you got him, I'm out of there.
That'll be Glass for the face-off. The righty will take the draw on this side of the ice.
Young guys rolling through it. Glass, Krebs, Quinn playing 4-on-4.
Well, there's so many of them.
It's true.
Zile being shadowed there by Quinn. Belinskas back with it. That drop pass picked off. And Myers' stick was broken. Laid back now for Joseph, and Myers can make his way to the Canadian bench. Grab an extra long. Lead pass for Quinn. Walks it and shoots. Seelov save. Rebound. Quinn took a whack at that. And a late poke there by Krebs draws some attention, but Seelovs has it. 1-0 Latvia still leads here in the second period.
You said it, Petra. There are hundreds and hundreds of volunteers who are working so hard to make this tournament possible for all of us. And in each game, we want to reward one volunteer of the game as a thank you. Pasi, who are we rewarding today?
Tässä ottelussa palkitaan Eevalta Pyyman Hotellin Hotel Info Desk. Kisojen taustalla on henkilöitä, jotka eivät aina pelissä tai turnauksessa näy, mutta ovat tärkeässä roolissa. Hotellin Infossa työskentely vaatii asiakaspalveluasennetta sekä kansainvälistä osaavaa otetta. Ja tästä Eevalta on mitä loistavin esimerkki. Hänen harteille voi asiat kantaa ja luottaa, että hommat hoidetaan hyvyssä suin ja ammattimaisesti. Kiitos Eevalta ja kaikki muut vapaaehtoiset. Thank you Eevalta. Now launches. Come on!
Shots are 3-0 Canada here in the second period. The Latvians had a long power play, including a long 5-on-3. But as you mentioned, they're comfortable being outshot. Off the draw, here's Glass with it. Cody Glass, the Nashville Predators, works across the top, has a look, feeds that back across. Weegar jumped up, and now Weegar back with it. Weegar feeds it across for Glass. The pass out of his reach. Chukste. It was off the skate of Glass, right to Luckmelis. And Luckmelis moves in. Yax is jumping in. As Hunt directs traffic, Luckmelis fires. That goes just wide. And comes out the other side.
Lots of responsibility for Luckmelis. Talk about all of Canada's youth. He's played a pretty prominent role in this game as well.
Chukste drops it back to Freybergs. That lead pass goes wide of the goal. Loose now for Myers. Freybergs had that disrupted by Lawton and Scott Lawton. As the pass go off the skate, now plays it back to center ice for Joseph. The Latvian domestic league basically collapsed last year. Dinamo Riga was a team in the KHL. They withdrew from that league after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It was a kind of an ad hoc league involving Latvia and Lithuania, but for the most part, these Latvian players scattered to the winds. The concern in Latvia is about where their young players will play as a group. Middleton taken down behind the net. Penalty coming down to Latvia. Richards Bukarts is going to go for a trip, and Canada gets its first power play with 12:18 to go. And Middleton having a few words with Richards Bukarts.
But doesn't put himself at risk of taking a penalty. I think Richards skates through the legs of Middleton. Watch him drag the feet. There it is. And that's awkward. Middleton does well to get his left leg out of the way. So it's not any worse. And so Canada will get their first man advantage of the night. Those 4 power play goals for the tournament for Canada. Not as many as they would have hoped.
4 different goal scorers have struck on the Canadian power play. Lucic, Krebs, Weegar, and Toffoli. And the Latvian penalty killing has been exceptional. 1 power play goal allowed in 25 opposition attempts. A lot of those Seelovs. Lawton for the face-off against A-Balls. Lawton wins that back. It's poked away by Dogovic. Weegar pops that back to Quinn with a head of steam. Jack Quinn winds it across the line. Quinn trying to center it, goes off the stick of Rubens into the corner. Kick back by Toffoli. Got it, Toffoli back after it. Rubens takes that away and slaps it down the ice.
That initial lateral pass from Quinn is a very difficult one to make. Unless you're going to get a great chance from it, you're better making a safer play. Trying to throw it through the seam.
Here comes Quinn again on the drop pass from Weegar. Rink winding goes for Lawton. Scott Lawton posts up and a stick lifted there by Baltzers. Carcone for Weegar as Canada gets set up. Weegar to Carcone, shoots. Seelovs makes the stop, and the puck goes over the glass and out.
Carcone looking for Lawton in front, maybe trying to slip a 5-hole if Seelovs can't quite get down as he tries to look over top of Lawton. Better entry, get it set up. But Latvia doesn't get stretched out very often while killing penalties. They are missing Andres Zaric, who got hurt this tournament, one of their ace penalty killers.
Yeah.
So they miss him on some defensive zone faceoffs.
Latvia to the line and just out. Now Lawson Krause with it. Drops it back to Glass. Talking to Canadian coaching staff and players yesterday, they felt that Krause's late tying goal against Norway really kind of kick-started this team. They lost that game in a shootout, but then came back and played the best game against Czechia. Glass in, shoots, trying to find a stick of Fantilli. That just missed. And a race for it now. Baltzers gets there first and shoots, deflects down to Montembeau, who drops it down for Hunt. 30 seconds to go in the Canadian power play. It skips away from Krause and fed back down to the Canadian zone. Montembeau around for Hunt. Brad Hunt split this year between the Colorado Avalanche and their American League affiliate, the Colorado Eagles. Glass beats across to Hunt, who could really shoot it. Krebs looks back to Hunt, goes the other way instead. Krebs feeds that to Krause, drops it back. Hunt winds and fires. That was blocked. Zirkal's got in the way of that. That's a brave block by Zirkal. Final seconds now. The power play. That shot by Glass, knocked away by Seelovs. One shot for Canada on that power play as Richards Bukarts steps back on. Drops that back, and Middleton bobbled it for a moment, but plays it back in. Canada changing as Krastenberg lifts it back out. Gerhard Bukarts is fresh. He moves in on Middleton. Off the bench, quick chance for Smirnovs, and Montemo got a piece of that as the puck was up and out of play. 9:51 to go in the second period. Latvia leads Canada 1-0. To go here in the second period. And Latvia on a first period goal by Danis Melis. Midway through that first period has the 1-0 lead. Latvia survived relegation this year at the World Junior Championship. Will be up for a third straight year next year. They beat Austria in the relegation round in Halifax in January. They've been fixtures in the top division of this championship for the last quarter century. Not bad for a country of under 2 million people. There have been some close scrapes. McBain lays it up ahead. Brought back in by Ronald Kenich. Tanner Myers up for Toffoli. Back across to Carcone. Carcone shoots. Seelov's the save, and McBain couldn't quite reach the rebound. In the corner, Toffoli taken down by A-Balls, and I think A-Balls going to get a penalty for that. He is, and so Canada gets a power play here after the whistle. A-Balls took down the Canadian captain.
Got to make them pay if they're going to take undisciplined penalties. Now, Tyler Toffoli does a good job of baiting in A-Balls and maybe selling this a little bit as well as, you know, he got shoved there, but he went down in a heap. Doesn't like it one bit. You have to take advantage. Canada's got to be. They have to find an answer on their own power play and for the penalty kill. It's kind of a double-edged sword for Canada right now.
Krebs for the face-off. Grabs that loose puck. Chukste stepped into him. Here's Lawson Krause with it. Back around the glass. Balcers reaches for it. The wall was sealed there by Fantilli. Latvia very aggressive on the penalty kill. Fantilli back to Hunt, tees it up and shoots, and that's blocked, this time by Balcers. You see that throughout the tournament, the Latvians laying out the block shots. Krebs with it now. Pokes that back for Glass. Cody Glass. Back for Adam Fantilli. Fantilli feeds it back across, and Matnia got a stick on that.
It's not there. The pass is not there against the Latvian penalty killers.
Fantilli winds it and shoots. Hit the goal post, back on Seelovs, and like poke out of Seelovs, still down, and he holds it out. Canada's arguing that a Latvian player handled the puck in the crease. Glass is making his case to the official.
That's done by Adam Fantilli. Just ridiculously irresponsible. Taking another penalty while on the power play. He gets the shot off. Here's that good release. Beats Seelovs. It's off the post, back underneath him. The referee lets it play out because he thinks he sees it somewhere. There it is, loose by his right elbow. Krebs comes flying in. Obviously tries a foul. A big pile of players.
Now Fantilli got penalized at the end of that play.
Yeah,
for roughing.
He popped the guy in the face for no reason. You just can't do that, Gord. You know, it's a tight game. It's 1-0. And there you see the loose puck. Krebs has maybe one crack at it coming in late here tries to drive it in. And a couple posts now in behind Seeloff, says he's getting the breaks he needs. Kraus and Krebs try to find it.
The Latvian goalie coach, by the way, is the legendary Arturs Urbe. Had a long NHL career. Here's the...
So there's a little push from Shookstein. Ref's right there. It's the same as what Tyler Toffoli got. You call it against Dayball, you got to call it against Fantilli, and that is unwise by Adam Fantilli. This time of the game, that moment, bad penalty.
So a 4-on-4 now. And an abbreviated power play for Latvia. Here's Myers back with it. Tyler Myers spins back with it. Back for Quinn. Jack Quinn dances in. Quinn still on, gets around Zile, throws it back in front, that skipped off the side of the net, back down the ice.
He was looking for the bank job. We've seen some off the shoulder, off the side of the head from below the goal line. It's a pretty common shot in the NHL. Quinn trying it.
Carcone winds in and holds, shoots. Seeloff makes the save, squeezes that with the right arm, and is just able to hang on. Everyone careful not to take an extra poke in a scrum now.
And Carcone winds it up. Bad gap here for the defense of Latvia. Balinskis way back, gets the inside. And oh, you can see the jersey ripple on the back of the elbow as Seeloff just squeezed it. And players like to act as though the puck might be behind the goaltender in hopes that the goalie might move quickly and drop it. Carcone trying to fool Seeloffs. Not quite, as he's had a standout tournament.
Lawton for the face-off against Dogovic. And Lawton wins that easily. Penalty coming out of Canada again. Could be a high sticking call. This time on Lawson Kraus.
Now Freeberg is trying to get some blood out of his nose. Do everything he can to get it to bleed.
So now Latvia is going to a power play that's going to turn into a 5-on-3 in 19 seconds.
Yeah. Accidental by Kraus trying to get an eye on the puck, but absolutely, he put it right into his nose. See Freeberg's in the back trying. He's blowing, he's anything he can, and that's a tough moment. Latvia already had a 5-on-3 for a minute in this period. They're going to have another 5-on-3 for about 48 seconds. And didn't get a shot last time. You can only tempt fate so much if you're Canada.
4-on-3 power play for now. In 19 seconds, A-balls will jump right into the 5-on-3. Lawton for the face-off. Another big win. Uyghur goes back for it. Taken in by Bukarts. That's going to be a penalty to Latvia as Uyghur's taken in by Riards Bukarts. And Uyghur is down.
Bukart's second penalty of the period. Clint Middleton earlier.
Uyghur has not moved.
Oh, gosh. Dangerous play.
So they're going to review this, which is their option, so they can maintain the call. They call a major penalty. They can maintain that or knock it down to a 2, but Uyghur has barely moved here. He's up now.
Bukarts knew it right away as a bad hit. And
so now the officials will review this as Uyghur gets back to his feet.
And if there's one player Canada can not afford to lose, they're already down to just 6 defensemen. Uyghur makes his way back to the bench.
So referees Sean McFarland of the United States, Mikko Kokakori of Finland will look at this. Hard to imagine this is anything but a 5.
It's the worst place to hit somebody from behind. He's 4 feet away from the boards. He's facing the puck. You cross-check, you extend into his back, knock him head, neck first into the dasher. I mean, it's got all the elements. The only thing he has going for him is it was off a face-off. They weren't moving very fast. It was more like a battle than it was a charging kind of cross-check. But, I mean, Uyghur clearly shaken up by it. The
Officials look for arm extension. One of the many things that you look for is, did you try to put him in?
He certainly tried to.
And Kakakori on the right, Farnell on the left. In conjunction with the IIHF video room looking at this. So
from what we've seen in this tournament, that is likely going to end up being a foul. Which would be the weirdest 3-on-3 in the run of a game.
Yeah.
We've seen it forever, which will result in a 4-on-3 power play momentarily for Latvia still.
Right.
When A-Balls gets out in 14 seconds, there will be 45 seconds of 4-on-3. It's a bad penalty by Bukart.
That's the angle the referee had. Take a long look at this.
You want to get pressure, of course, but going with your stick against the back, you go drive in with your stick on the ice, try to get Uyghur's stick off the ice, and you don't put yourself at risk of injuring him to start. Penalties as well. And Richard Bukart will be wondering if he will remain in this game. They called a 5 to start. And now have the option to downgrade it to a 2 or maintain the 5. I think it will end up being a 5.
Richard Bukart has 3 goals for Latvia in this tournament. He's an important player for them.
After video review, Latvian player, 2 minutes for boarding.
Wow.
Okay.
That's surprising.
That's surprising. I mean, based on the standard we've seen. So now we have 3-on-3
for 14
A-Balls getting
seconds.
out in 14 seconds, and then it'll be a 48-second 4-on-3. And no real power play time out of this entire sequence for Canada.
4 seconds at the end of it, barring any more penalties. Off the face-off, Lawton back for Myers, who races back. Myers for Lawton. Time winding down to the 3-on-3. Scott Lawton winds in and shoots. That was blocked. And now picked up by Dogovic as A-Balls joins the attack, and Latvia on the power play here. From back, Malinskas feeds it across. Yaks with a shot. Multiple down, rebound cleared away by Myers.
Long stick came in handy there for Myers.
Dogovic slides it back. Dogovic works it back across. Good stop there on Malinskas by Monzebo. Middleton couldn't clear it out. Now back at the point is Dogovic. Malinskas back across to Yaks. Jumped over his stick, but he held it. Yaks works that back to Malinskas. Back for Yaks. Dogovic cheat up for the one-timer. Goes back instead for Yaks. Chops it across. Malinskas. Backdoor pass is picked off by Middleton. And Middleton finds Lawton.
Out of gas. They can't go. They got to get a change.
So now they're back to 5-on-5. So after a penalty-free first period, 18 minutes of penalties handed out here in the second. And it could have been more. Long lead pass for Chukste. The defenseman was in behind the Canadian defense.
Uyghur back on the ice for Canada.
And Joseph gathers it back up. Lead pass for McBain. In comes Jack McBain. Pivots back. His stick was lifted on him, and now McBain trying to drop that back. It's picked up by Rudolph Balcers. Balcers played for Tampa and Florida in the NHL this year. And for their minor league affiliates as well. Kidrashis. Poke check there by Joseph. That was knocked free by McBain. And Rubens lost the handle. Kraus, or Neighbors rather, lifts that back down. As Kraus steps back out of the box. So the teams are back to 5-on-5 with 5.5 to go here in the second period. Kraus for Hunt. Brad Hunt works in with it. Back around to Lawton. So Canada's top players get a chance to play again now for a long penalty kill. And lifted back out. Here's Hunt. Kraus chops at that. Back down to the Latvian zone. Kennage goes back for it. Kennage, the 32-year-old, has played in 8 lower division IIHF tournaments for Latvia. Under 18s, World Junior, World Championship. Krebs winds in. Peyton Krebs works in, feeds that back across, bouncing puck, they score! Semi play, snaps it home, and Canada's tied the game.
Sammy Blais coming through big in the playoff rounds as he had a big goal against Finland in the quarters, and his fourth of the tournament, huge for Canada late. Peyton Krebs does a really good job getting to the middle of the ice and then just getting it to a spot where Blais can skate into it. The play in the neutral ice there to take it inside Lochmelis, draw the attention of all four guys, and how about the shot? Ends up right in the top corner. He catches this at the junction of his heel and the shaft of his stick. Hey, you're not supposed to shoot the puck there, but he finds a way to squat it in the top corner to get Canada's first and tie the game.
Scored the critical 2-0 goal against Finland in the quarterfinal game, so he's got goals in back-to-back for the tournament. Scored against the Latvians in the first game.
Not sure what they would be waiting on. They get the thumbs up.
So 4:28 to go in the second period. It's a 1-1 tie. Fantilli winds his way across the Latvian line and sends that in. The first thing guys who hadn't seen Fantilli play before talked about is agility and speed.
Coach giving him an opportunity right after taking a bad penalty, get him right back out there. He's been good in this game.
Middleton kicks at that. Now Fantilli pokes at it. Hobie Baker winner, the top player in college hockey last year with the Michigan Wolverines. Will likely go second overall to Anaheim in the upcoming NHL draft. Myers steps up. Tyler Myers works in. Silov's down. Myers spins and shoots. Silov saved. The puck still loose. Lucic kicking at it. He's knocked down. 1-1 the score here late in the second. To go here in the second period. Canada and Latvia locked into a 1-1 tie. Canada has goals from 14 different players. Every player on the roster has at least 1 point.
If Canada was going to be successful in this tournament, that's how it was going to have to go. They couldn't rely on any one player other than their goaltender. Everyone was going to have to chip in. Sammy Blais, 4 goals in this being their 9th game. That's plenty.
Knocked down by Toffoli at the line, throws that back in for Carcone. Freibergs. Bumped there by Carcone. And center ice, Toffoli got a stick on that pass as Uyghur has it back. At center ice, knocked down by Balcers, winding in. Balcers in, shoots, scores! Bruce Balcers restores the Latvian lead.
Great timing for Latvia, right back at it. Uyghur places up the wall. Now he's got no gap. He's standing dead still, and he gives up the middle of the ice. Balcers with a nice move to get inside Uyghur, and then rips it by the glove side of Montembeault. Good shooting spot. Puts it right below the glove, above the pad. And a puck that Montembeault, you saw his reaction, would want to save. One he'd been stopping all tournament long, gets past him from Balcers.
26-year-old, drafted by San Jose back in 2015. Actually went to Ottawa in the Erik Karlsson trade, was later lost on waivers. scored in Tampa this year. And he has a huge goal here late in the second to restore Latvia's lead. Picked up by Neighbors. Down to Joseph. Sammy Blay picks that free. Blay bangs that back to Myers. Tyler Myers, a long shot that went high. Picked up by Blay. Blay slides that back to Myers. Across to Joseph. Shoots. Knocked away by Seelovs. Latvia just 13 shots in the game, but has scored twice. Chance in front for Neighbors. Rebound. Krebs feeds it across, but a penalty coming to Canada. It's going to get them both.
Just a...
I think they're going to call Belinskas and Blay here.
They had the initial trip. And they're taking Belinskas as well. Belinskas skates out of the corner. Here's the trip coming up right here by Blay. Good call. Chance against. Now, I'm not sure. What's the other penalty?
I think it's diving.
You cannot call this a... He's not going to dive a foot in front of his own net.
Yeah, you get for embellishment.
I disagree with that completely. Like, there's places on the ice to dive. That's not one of them. Canada catches a break and stays even up. As playing, they're having a good chat through the penalty bench. Or Blay's at least trying to.
So more 4-on-4. There's been very little 5-on-5 play here in the second period. Here's Yachts being shouted there by Quinn. And forced back by Lawton. As Yachts plays that high in the air. Rubich feeds that back around to Yachts. Dogovic back for Yachts. He's up and shoots. With the leg of Winger. Now a bank pass ahead for Lawton. In comes Scott Lawton on Dogovic. And Dogovic stays with him. Quinn picks off that pass. He's knocked down. Quinn slides it back to Hunt. Hunt has a look. Back down to Quinn and skipped off his stick. And Rubich lays it back out to center ice. Montembeau's going to wait for it and shields off A-ball.
You got to be able to bump the goalie there. He's going to box you out on a forecheck.
Carcone works in. Bouncing puck for him. Carcone got spun around. Joseph pulls effort to Foley. And Joseph right on the line. Balcher spun him around. It's poked back by Carcone. Minute and a half to go here in the second period. 45 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Lead pass to Myers. In comes Tyler Myers. Still on it, Myers. Winds across the top, has a look. Feeds that down, trying to find the stick up to Foley. That went wide. Now Balser spun around the corner, back to Foley. Joseph pitches up to keep it alive. It does for Foley. Feeds it across to Myers. Walks in, holds, Myers shoots. Seelov save, rebound. Jammed wide by Foley. Picked up by Fantilli. Myers shoots again, and Seelovs makes the save.
And hard work around the net for Canada. The Foley battling on it. Fantilli as well. They get this loose puck back to Myers. Looks like Seelovs is way out of position. Myers can just find the far side of the net, but Seelovs battling to get back into it. After this pretty good rebound save, able to squeeze his elbow down again to turn aside Tyler Myers.
Eleven minors called here in this second period. Zile bumped there by Glass. At center ice, and Drush has had that knocked away by Uyghur. He's out there now with Myers. So 2 righties out there for Canada. Nicely called against the Latvians. 31 seconds to go in the period.
Here's a play goal again. Bouncing puck, he roofs it. And then Balser right after that restores the 1-goal lead for Latvia. And Latvia has shortened this game now down to a very manageable 20 minutes and 31 seconds with the lead.
Glass for the face-off. against Batya. The Latvians have 4 guys stacked in front of the net. And through that wall, Joseph has a look. Back to Uyghur. Uyghur. That pass goes off the skate of Lucic, and it's bumped back to center ice. Uyghur dances in. Throws that towards the goal. Silov's missed it. Here's Lucic on it. Lucic centers it. Fantilli drops that back. That's poked ahead by Batya. Oscar's Batya works in on Uyghur. And the hulking Batya has that knocked away by Fantilli in the final seconds of the period. And it's poked ahead by Glass. And Latvia will go to the dressing room with a 2-1 lead. After the opener of 40 minutes, Cody Glass is down in front of the Canadian bench and slow to get to his feet. But Balser scores the go-ahead goal late in the second. It's a 2-1 advantage for Latvia through 2 periods of play. The first of 2 semifinals here at the 2023 World Hockey Championship.
Laukaukset maalia kohti toisessa erässä. Latvia 6, Kanada 16.
Is for the action and dive into a new digital world. Playing with amazing prizes. Available on all smart devices. In multiple languages. The 2023 IIHF, powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Let's protect the sport we love. Let's protect ice hockey. guy changing right causes that for you guys to keep the puck. No, he was already out here by the red line. Hey! Boys! We're gonna start looking to send a message after the whistle, okay? If you don't want to be shorthanded, tell the boys whistle goes, we're done. Don't touch anybody. Right here, we're good, hey?
Second period. Toista erää jäljellä 1 minuutti.
Here we go, move! Hey! Hey!
Montevo has allowed 2 goals on 13 Latvian shots. And at the other end of the ice, Artur Silovs, the 22-year-old Vancouver Canucks prospect, has stopped 24 of the 25 shots he's faced. Canada's made the gold medal game 6 of the last 7 World Championships. In each of the last 4 World Championships, Canada has won at least 1 overtime game in the medal round. But first, you got to get there. Latvia was outshot badly in its quarterfinal win against Sweden, having already posted its best World Championship performance ever. Previous best was 7th. They'll be no worse than 4th. And they've got their sights set on something better than that. With a 2-1 lead starting the 3rd period. Montevo goes off the helmet of Dogovic. That's picked off by McBain. Works head forward to Foley in a race for the puck. Icing waved off. Zile up for Dogovic. Kasper's Dogovic, the veteran captain of Latvia. Long shot, gloved by Montevo, and he'll hang on.
If you're Canada, you think, yeah, 20 minutes, you can't waste time, though, as they've only got the 1 goal. This is one courtesy of Sammy Blais with a really good finish off a bouncing puck. But that was undone very quickly as Rudolph Balcers danced around Mackenzie Weegar to restore the 1-goal advantage. And you know it's going to be a all hands on deck, diving in front of pucks, bodies down in front of the net for Latvia. Whenever Canada gets in the offensive zones, you need to be down there as much as you can be in the 3rd period.
Myers sends that down, icing waved off as he was chipped there by Quinn. Kraus plays that down to Scott Lott. Long-time Philadelphia Flyer pokes that free for Quinn, shoots, scores! Quinn banks it off Silovs, and 45 seconds into the 3rd period, the game is tied.
He tried the same shot earlier this game. He was below the goal line and tried to bank it in off Silovs' head. He missed his target. This one, on a forecheck, the puck just squirts out here from Kraus trying to get over. He's under pressure. Look at this, bink, right off the side of the head. Completely, 100% intentional by Jack Quinn. This is a goal scorer's mentality. Look at that. You put it right in the ear hole, and you give yourself a chance. What a finish from the former 50-goal scorer for the Ottawa 67s. And the Sabres, young gun, less than a minute in, ties it up.
And Sammy Blais has scored in back-to-back medal round games, and now Jack Quinn has as well. He scored against Finland as well on Thursday.
This is why Tourigny, Weegar, Toffoli all cited him as a guy that's surprisingly impressed.
Another chance for Blais moving in. That's knocked away as Krebs got it back up. That pass or something. Bukart's bouncing, puck in front, diving across was Myers to take that away. Better luck getting the puck past a canoe than Tyler Myers. As he stretched out there to block that. Now picked up by Krebs. Played back at the point. Moved back around by Justin Barron, who played sparingly in that 2nd period with all the penalty killing and power play time. Barron plays it back in. Mackenzie Weegar and Jake Middleton are logging major minutes for Canada.
Well, you saw in the Balcers goal, like, fatigue does play a factor with those guys.
Glass moves in, feeds that to the front of the net for Lucic, and Silovs gloves that and hangs on.
Jack Quinn has gotten better as this tournament has gone along, and you see him place that puck with the heel of his blade. It's almost like a saucer pass. Accuracy is at the premium, not velocity, and boy, did he hit the spot.
And did he celebrate? It was funny talking to Toffoli yesterday. He told us that, you know, these 7 players under 22, he says, they've got so much energy, he said, all the time. Hunt plays it down to Glass for Lucic. Lucic chops that back in. Glass works it free. Cody Glass trying to spin that back for Hunt, but he was taken down. Glass was taken down at the end of the 2nd period. Didn't like it. As Fantilli winds in. Poke check back, but Hunt counters it back up for Canada. Hunt spins that back. Glass spins and shoots. That deflected wide. Centered by Fantilli. Here's Hunt back with it. Hunt moves in. Works it back around. Walks right back out and shoots. Bouncing puck in front. Fantilli couldn't quite reach it. Tom Andersons has it back for Latvia. Straightened up there by Jack McBain. Cross ice pass to Uyghur. Both teams changing as Uyghur fires that in. Just shy of 20 minutes played so far for Mackenzie Uyghur. Canada without defenseman Ethan Bear, who was injured in a scrum at the end of the quarterfinal win over Finland, slashed on the arm by Kasperi Kapanen. So Canada with an NHL lineup, 12 forwards, 6 D, no spares. You're allowed to dress 20 skaters, 2 goaltenders in the IIHF. So Canada 2 under the limit.
Able to get through this game. They might be happy they had the early game today. More time to rest.
So this game is the early of the 2 semifinals. The USA will play Germany later. Here's Ruben, shoots, and Montalvo makes the stop. Normally the first seed gets the pick, but under the tournament rules, if either of the host teams, Finland or Latvia, were in the semifinal, they get the early semifinal.
Probably was papered with Finland in mind, but Latvia don't take it. And again, great start for Canada. If you're Latvia, though, there's 16 minutes left. We're tied. Would you take that for the game? Of course. Latvia right in this.
Face-off won by Lawton. Back is Joseph to pick it up. Rings it around for Lawson. Krause streaking ahead. Chipped that across for Quinn, who came flying in. We can just see the confidence in Jack Quinn the last couple of games.
The more confident he gets, it's like the stronger he gets on the puck.
Moving in now on Rubens. Trying to knock that puck free. Here's Dogovic. Poke check by Quinn. Bouncing puck in front. And Krause couldn't reach it. Now Quinn pokes it free again. Rubens plays it back around to Freebirds. Batya slammed it for Balsers. His shot deflects wide. Barron in the corner. Batya taken down. And Barron plays it around to Myers. Chipped ahead by Quinn. That'll be icing against Canada.
The story Jack Quinn is authoring, though, he's 21 years old for Canada, native of Ottawa. Andre Tourigny knows him well from the Ottawa 67, the time there.
He also knows him from the 2021 World Junior Championship. They won a silver medal. Quinn, one of 4 Canadian players from that team that rolled through that tournament until the gold medal game when they ran into Spencer Knight and the United States and settled for a silver. Canada has only 2 players who have played the World Championship before. Toffoli won a gold medal in 2015 when Canada won a perfect 10-0. And Tyler Myers, who bangs that out, has played in 2 of them in 2010 and 2011. 5 Canadians have won gold at the World Junior Championship. His Neighbors plays that down. In comes chance for Blade, just missed Neighbors with that pass. Uyghur back with it. Lead pass for Sammy Blade. Drops it back to Peyton Krebs. He winds his way in. Krebs holds and shoots. Feeds that across. The bouncing puck was knocked away by Sabolskis. Richards Bukarts moves that back ahead, but the play was called offside at the Canadian line.
More close looks for Canada in the offensive zone. They keep on pushing, still looking for their first lead of the game. It was Latvia who opened the scoring. Canada tied it up. Latvia got it right back. Canada's tied it up again here in the third as this very pro-Latvia crowd is settling into their party-style kind of game.
Latvians were literally flooding into Tampere the last 36 hours. Planes, you name it. Lokmelis feeds that down, and Montalvo makes the save. There's a way to get here by car. You drive from Riga to Estonia, take the ferry across to Helsinki, then drive up here. But within an hour of Latvia beating Sweden in the quarterfinals, the website for the ferry service had crashed.
Large volume of requests coming in. They've just been spectacular every game.
Face-off, one back by Lokmelis. It's squeezed by Yaks, and Fantilli bears it on him. Lucic spins back. Here's Uyghur. That's poked away by Richards Bukarts. Back goes Middleton as Uyghur moves back. Lokmelis feeds it back down. Richards Bukarts shovels that back in front. Loose puck picked up by Lucic. Snaps that rink wide for Fantilli. 1-on-1 with Zile. The bouncing puck counted up by Fantilli. Pokes that back down to Lucic. Lucic back for Myers. Walks it and fires. Silovs saw that blocked in front of him. And now Zile feeds that by Lucic and back down to the Canadian zone. Here, Olivier Joseph lifts that back down to the Latvian end. Back goes Zile for it. Zile bumped in there by Toffoli. Crowd whistling at that. Toffoli feeds that back. Joseph, a shot that was blocked by Krastenberg. Joseph got it right back up. Fires again, and Freeberg's gotten away. McBain hammers down Smirnov. Here's Jack McBain on it.
Stick in the corner.
He's lost his stick. It's over in the corner. In comes McBain. Works it back in front. Seelov save. Rebound. McBain put off the side of the goal. Then McBain just throws down Freeberg. What a shift by Jack McBain. Myers had to go off his stick and out. Seelov's stick is halfway out of the zone. And his teammate careful to hand it to him and not shoot it back. Myers. That pass up for Lott was broken up by Dogovic. And Myers chops it back out. Balser's rink wide. Bouncing puck in the Canadian zone. Quinn. That skip away, but the play was called offside. At the Canadian line. 2-2 the score here. 13:15 to go in the third. 13:15 to go in the third period. Canada and Latvia locked in a 2-2 tie here. The first of two semifinals here today. USA will take on Germany tonight. Neither of those two teams have ever been to a gold medal game at the World Championship in this current format, which was adopted in 1992. Nor is Latvia, which will play for a medal this weekend for the first time at any top-level IIHF event, men's or women's, at any level. Loose behind the goal. Krause reaching for it. And now Lawton knocks that down. Scott Lawton plays it back in the corner for Quinn. Jack Quinn dances in. Moves back in the corner. A-Balls took that away and moved it by Krause. Lead pass for Balser's misfired. The icing was waved off as that was chipped at the Canadian line. Mackenzie Weegar. Rink wide to Peyton Krebs. Great move at the line by Krebs. Brings that back around for Blay. Sammy Blay down to Krebs. Back for Blay. Blay waits, shoots. Seelov's a close save, and he hangs on.
Good job by Batya, keeping Jake Neighbors out of the eyesight of Seelov and Sammy Blay. Krebs play a little two-man game. Looking for a chance on Latvia. They're not feeling any of the stress of the moment. Well, the players might be.
Well, in a way, I mean, they're kind of playing with house money, right? I mean,
yeah, but the point is, they'd like to take the house down. You're this close.
How many times do you get a chance to get this close?
Well, never before, so.
There it calls. Squeeze off the puck there by Krebs. Up for Neighbors. Feeds that back down to the Latvian zone. Krebs chips that back for Joseph, right on the line for Peyton Krebs. Krebs shoots, and Seelovs steers that away. Brought up by Zirkals. Martin Zirkals works in from a sharp angle, shoots, that goes off the glass, bounces back on the point. Big collision there with Yachts and Blay.
Neither one slowed down before they ran into each other.
Here's Myers back on it.
Good patience.
Hunter Myers winds his way out as Canada's changing game center ice and fires that down to the Latvian zone. Zile goes back for it. Fantilli racing to it. Adam Fantilli down for Glass. Cody Glass. Bumped down Luck Mellis. And it's lifted back out by Yachts. Here's Barron with it. Justin Barron. Feeds ahead for Lucic. Lucic snaps that pass ahead for Fantilli walking. Oh, what a move! Fantilli scores! An incredible goal by Adam Fantilli has given Canada the lead. What a snipe! His first goal of this World Championship is enormous.
And it's a beauty. Oh, this is sick. Lucic hands it to him. He goes under the stick once, twice. He's got Freebergs in the corner. Look at this, attack the triangle, the lateral move, and then that release. He's been waiting on that one all tournament long. This is just stuff you cannot teach. That's shades of Merrill Lemieux. I guess the Minnesota North Stars. Oh.
He just took a 32-year-old man to school.
That is an undressing that you dream of. That is so good from Adam Fantilli.
From the time Canada gathered for its training camp in Budapest, Hungary, the Canadian players who were unfamiliar with Fantilli, they wouldn't know him, all talked about his speed, his agility, his drive. It's hard for a draft-eligible player to dominate the World Junior, and the World Championship is even more unheard of. But he's been pretty good here, taking a regular shift, and now scores his first of the tournament. Carconi moved that back, but McBain's stick was knocked out of his hands. Kennich plays it back down to the Canadian zone, so Canada has its first lead of the game. Joseph, a knock off the puck. Played back for Zile. Anderson's back for Zile. That pass is picked off by Quinn. And if you thought we saw a lot of Mackenzie Weegar and Jake Middleton before, buckle up.
10 minutes left. They're going to play 6 of them.
At least.
Factor in commercials and timeouts and everything else.
Middleton back for Weegar. Mackenzie Weegar, long shoot in and related the glove of Silovs. Valinskas plays it ahead. A-Ball's with it. In on Middleton. A-Ball centers it. Bouncing puck in front. Goes back to Blais. And Sammy Blais snaps that pass ahead. In comes Krabs. Krabs drops it back. Middleton a shot. Silovs save from the side of the goal. That's Krabs. And Silovs knocked the Latvian net off. And play is called. 9:40 to go here. Canada's got the lead in the third period.
All right, folks, you know the concept. Time to play the corner drums. Come on, girls.
Seeking to advance to the gold medal game for the 7th time in the last 8 years. But it's been a knee knocker against Latvia. Still 9:40 to go here in the third period. Face off, one back to Weegar. Off the TV timeout, Weegar back out there with Jake Middleton. Weegar telling us yesterday that he feels like he's been used in every situation, taking on a leadership role. He's only 29. He says he wants to take that back to Calgary with him. Increased responsibility, the confidence that he's gained here in this tournament.
It's the closest thing Canada has to a superstar player. Get used like it.
Carconi throws that back in front, and Silovs glove that. Krebs poking free. That's going to draw the attention of the Latvians. As Peyton Krebs going to stick on that. Yanis Yaks in his face.
Silov took a little grab at Sammy Blais on the flyby. This puck is loose. It pops out. Krebs is trying to get a stick on it. He pokes it loose after he skates through Silov's hands. And of course it will draw a crowd. Canada's got to be very smart here. Keep your hands down. Don't do anything. You can chat. Don't pop anybody.
No minor penalties called in the first. 11 in the second. None so far here in the third.
Canada would like to keep it that way.
Well, you think back from Latvia up 1-0, a 5-on-3 long power play.
Some of that goes to the penalty killers of Canada. Just done a good job all tournament long. And again, when they needed it in this game.
Krebs for the face-off. Swept up by Neighbors, and Peyton Krebs plays it back into the Latvian zone. Shook stay with it. Zirkals throws that rink wide, and Krebs races after it. Peyton Krebs, 22-year-old from Okotoks, Alberta, just south of Calgary. Traded by Vegas to Buffalo in the Jack Eichel trade. In comes Zirkals. Zirkals pivots back in the corner. Zirkals throws that towards the goal that went off the skate of Neighbors. And Blay feeds it ahead. Brad Hunt leads the rush for Canada off the bench. And the custom spot for him. But he quickly retreats from it. What am I doing here?
Get it in and get off.
Why aren't there 9 people in front of me? Here's Fantilli. Chipped down by Lucic. Here's Andrashis with it. Belinskas moves it on Lawton, feeds that rink wide for Andrashis. The pass too far for him to reach. Myers staples him into the corner boards. Luckmelis tied up there by Kraus. Loose in the corner. Myers taken down. Kraus plays that rink wide. Belinskas jumps up for Latvia. Belinskas that deflected wide on the stick of Luckmelis. And Lawton has it back. Lawton chips that back down to the Latvian zone. And back to pick it up is Kristaps Zile. Former captain of the Latvian national junior team. Zile played this year in Litvinov in the Czech League. As we mentioned, Latvian players were scattered to the winds when their domestic league collapsed. The core of this team used to be Dinamo Riga in the KHL, but that team is no longer.
I mean, it's been a pretty cool year for Adam Fantilli already. Won World Junior goal. Hobie Baker with Michigan, best player in college hockey, and then this in the World Championship semifinal. I mean, that's as clean, as pretty a one-on-one goal that you will see at this level.
Latvia led for more than 31 minutes in the game. We asked Fantilli before the tournament why he came. As he shoots, that's blocked. So I want to keep learning the game. I love playing. I want to keep learning from older guys.
I love it. It's a great attitude to have. Not worried about draft position or whatever. Keep getting better. He's hardy. Pretty darn good.
Montembeau plays that back to Hunt. Great wide pass by Lucic for Justin Barron. Gains center ice and fires that down. Canada changing as Toffoli comes in. Tyler Toffoli bats that back in deep. Canada allowed just 3 third-period goals in the tournament. Carcone. That's poked free by Toffoli. Krastenbergs goes back. McBain went into him, and Jack McBain, another big body play for Canada. Carcone trying to work that free. Stolen by Toffoli. Tyler Toffoli back on it. Banks that back. Middleton back around for Uyghur. Uyghur holds, shoots. It goes off the skate of Krastenbergs and wide. There's Baltzers on it. And Eballs has it back for Latvia. This top line going back out for the Latvians. They loaded up midway through the tournament. And that keyed their run. They come in here with a 6-game winning streak. Scored a late tying goal against Switzerland. That got them the point that got them into the quarterfinals. Wrong-size pass for Dogovic, the man who scored that goal, chips it back down to the Canadian zone. Joseph. That pass broken up by Batya. Batya took it away from Joseph. Now loose in the corner with it. Batya stays on it. And the big man shoots that towards the goal. Goes off the skate of Myers. Bank back ahead. Here's Quinn with it. Jack Quinn up at for Lawson Krause. Krause throws it back in front. Quinn tapped that wide. And Roberts Bukarts has it back now for Latvia. Being flushed there by Quinn, who heads off the ice. Roberts Bukarts moves in. Poke check there by Middleton. And Blay has it back. Lifts it back down the Latvian zone. A race for it. And And icing waved off as Neighbors got in there. Neighbors knocks that down in the corner. Krebs coming in as well. And Blay. And Uyghur picks it back up. Middleton. Rink wide pass to Blay. Goes back to Middleton. Up ahead to Krebs. Inside 5 to go here in the third period. Walinska swings back for it. Winner of this game faces the winner of USA-Germany tomorrow in the gold medal game here in Tampere. Rink where Canada lost the gold medal game last year in overtime to Finland. Long lead pass to Riard Bukarts for Andrashis. Shoots and Montembeault makes the save and hangs on. 4:18 to go in the third period. Canada's got a 3-2 lead.
Yes, people here in Nokia, and luckily we get to enjoy this really feeling after the game as well. The fans, there's some music, food, drinks, anything and everything to head over there after the game.
Hyvä muistetaan, että Hyvänen Petso palvelee Latvian ja Latvian välipaastossa. Siellä on ruokaa, juomaa, elämää, musiikkia. Ja liiga parasta ei vasta mitään. 0-1 asti auki menoa ja meininkiä riittää. Lavakova viitivaan Asgard Business. Speles, Vatsone, Tiekamies Tour, DJ ja Manda, go!
.17 to go here in the third period. The face-off in the Canadian zone will be Cody Glaff. Dig the draw on this side of the ice. The 24-year-old from Winnipeg wins that draw. Uyghur to Middleton. Chips it across to McBain. Up ahead for it to Foley. That's knocked down by Belinskas. At center ice, Baltzers, who has a goal in the game. That's knocked away by Middleton. Up for Toffoli. Poked ahead by McBain. 4 to go here in the third. Yanis Yaks. Up ahead for A-balls. That's poke checked away, knocked down by Uyghur. At the line, Belinskas shoots, and a stop made by Montembeault. Puck loose in front. That was muscled free by Middleton and then knocked out by Uyghur. Jake Middleton making a name for himself in this tournament. The 27-year-old from Stratford, Ontario, plays for Minnesota, the NHL. One of the great colorful characters in the game, but he has been a rock on defense in this tournament. Roberts Bukarts moves around a lot, and that long shoot-in goes wide. Myers racing to it. Chops at that. Adam Myers gets it back. And Batya. Bumped there by Joseph. Roberts Bukarts back on it. Feeds it across for Zirkals. Krauss got a stick on that. Joseph lifts it back out to center ice. Freyberg. Hangs it back down. Mon's about to play it. Leaves it there for Uyghur. He got steamrolled by Batya. Penalty coming to Latvia. And Uyghur slow to get to his feet again after Batya took him down. And so Canada gets a late power play here in the third period. Boy, Uyghur's taking a beating in this game.
He got tangled up behind the net trying to pick the puck up off the wall, and Batya just fills him in from behind. As it kind of stuck on the wall, but that's, again, another board, and boy, has he ever had a tough go. He basically took the same kind of hit in the second period from Bukarts, and that was called a 5 and then downgraded to a 2. And Batya knows he's trying to get a hit here, but this is the earlier chance.
It's a 2-minute boarding penalty to Latvia.
Latvia's best chance in the last several minutes is Belinskas' shot gets all the way through to Montembeault before being cleared away.
Uyghur still on one knee is being attended to by athletic therapist Kevin Elliott.
Have to clean off his visor. It's littered with the blue of the dasher from getting hit from behind.
And is he cut with the eye?
Uyghur's mad about it not being a 5. Giving it to the official.
Uyghur's got to go to the dressing room for some attention. Looked like he had been cut on the eyelid.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Harry Spitalines is talking about, as though that somehow, what, he milked that call? Got hammered from behind. Stop of that. So, Canada, 3 minutes on the clock, 2-minute power play, going with 2 defensemen, Myers and Joseph, on the back end. Nothing high risk, no blind plays, hustle back if you're forward.
And off the draw that squirts down the Sealoves, he'll hang on to that.
And absolutely nothing silly with your sticks or your undisciplined if you're Canada right now.
If Canada doesn't score, this will expire just under a minute left in the third.
Uyghur back on the bench for Canada, so available.
Myers back at the point for Joseph. To Tyler Myers. Back for Joseph. Feeds that down to Toffoli.
Wonder how long Latvia will just sit in the tight box.
Myers. Canada plays the 4 corners here. Carcone to Myers. Watched by Dogovic. Here's Myers back with it. The rink wide pass is picked off. A-Balls has it now along with Dogovic. Chuksta jumped in. That's knocked away by Myers. Canada 3-on-1 the other way. Carcone with Toffoli. Carcone walks in, trying to feed that back across. Oh, and a stop by Seelov's. Glove save on Carcone. Keeps it a 1-goal game.
A wild sequence. Latvia almost gets a break. They're, of course, trying to attack the back check of McBain. Turns it over, so it's a 2-on-1. Carcone to Foley. He's waiting. He's trying to find a pass and take it away. But the rebound is there for him. Seelov's game saver with the glove. Carcone, who led the American League in scoring this past year. This is a tight, elevates it. And Seelov waiting on him for the glove.
2:12 to go in the period. 1:14 to go in the power play. Lawton for the face-off against Zirkals. And the face-off won by Zirkals.
They went in the one door, out the other. They went back to the Olympic breakout, trying to sneak Bukarts out the forward door. Almost connected.
And the back the other way. Here's Lawton with it. He's poke checked at the line and swings back. Drops it back to Joseph.
Quick change on the defense because they want Uyghur and Middleton rested when the penalty expires.
They've gone off. Lawton with it now. Lifts it back in. That's knocked down by Sabalskis, but the play's offside at the Latvian line.
Such a smart play by Latvia. They worked this in the Olympics previously. Watch the defenseman head to the short door, and here comes Bukarts out the forward door behind Middleton. Doesn't even know he's there. If they hit him, he's in.
You know who pioneered that? Roger Nielsen. The 60-foot change.
Of course. Why not? Why not?
The late Canadian coach.
It is such a crafty idea. And it had Middleton spun as they connected. So for the guys on the ice, you have to be mindful of the time of the power play. How much time is left? When do I need to get off to make sure we have our right personnel out for Canada for the last minute?
40 seconds to go in this Canadian power play. Here's A-Balls back across to Rubens. These guys don't normally kill penalties. Rubens long shot kicked out by Montembeau. Rebound off the side of the goal. Baltzer's back on it. 30 seconds to go in this power play. Long shot kicked away by Myers. Rebound goes back to Baltzers. Tied up by Glass. Now picked out. Chukste centers it, and Joseph has it back.
Another 2-on-1.
Back down. Here's Glass on it. On Balinskis. Balinskis ties him up. Toffoli comes back for it. And Toffoli reaching for it. Baltzer's trying to knock that away. Final seconds now of this power play. We're to the final minute of the third period. And here comes Seelovs to the Latvian bench. 6 skaters on 5 for Latvia. A-Balls moves ahead as they press for the equalizer. Kraus gets a stick on that. Back at the point, Luck-Millis. Fans on the shot. Here's a chance for Lawton to the empty net. Scores! Scott Lawton fires it in, and Canada's got a 2-goal lead with 42 seconds to go.
Well, he trusted his ability to shoot it because he did not worry about getting the red line. Lawson Kraus does a really good job on the entry, slowing down Latvia, battling, and then Luck-Millis, who's had a fantastic game, gets tangled up on the boards, turns it over, and center cut. Scott Lawton, no change whatsoever. Latvia goes down 2. What a rally for Canada. Trailing 2-1 coming to the third period.
Didn't take their first lead until there was 12 minutes left in the third period.
Latvia had been a perfect 4-0 in this tournament when leading after 2. Canada had not won a game when trailing after 2.
But the Canadian third period defense as well. I mean, they've been virtually airtight.
That Jack Quinn goal to start, just to level things up.
Right.
The tension of the game sort of switches a little bit.
Here comes Silas again to the Latvian bench. It's fired in, but that's icing called against the Latvians. The face-off back down to their zone.
And you think about in the third period, Canada needs something. It's Jack Quinn, 21 years old. Thanem Fantilli, 18 years old. And they play, I mean, the young guys were getting more and more ice. And then they turn to the veterans to close it down. It's Lawton, it's Krause, it's Middleton, it's Uyghur. Canada, 28 seconds away.
Back at the point, Middleton plays it across to Uyghur. And a huge advantage for Canada now playing in the first semifinal with Uyghur and Middleton playing so much. And a longer rest as Balzer shoots that wide. Latvia took down the Czechs, beat Switzerland, beat Sweden to get to the semifinals. That shot wide and led Canada for much of this game, more than half of it. Zile shoots, that's tipped wide, and Canada will go to the gold medal game after a 4-2 win over Latvia. It was a white-knuckle job, but Canada got it done and will face the winner of the United States and Germany for the gold medal here on Sunday, advancing to the gold medal game for the 7th time in the last 8 World Championships.
It's been an incredible run, just finding ways to win the game when they needed it.
We'll get the player of the game presentations and then the top 3 players for each team as voted on by their management staff, and then the Canadian anthem. And Latvia tomorrow will get a chance to play for a medal for the first time ever at a top-level IIHF event. Under 18, World Championship, World Junior Championship, Women's, you name it. This has been a remarkable run for the Latvians, and it's not over yet. No, a bronze medal would mean the world to them.
And you'd expect them to find it emotionally.
And whoever plays them tomorrow might play the toughest bronze medal game they'll ever be in.
But if it's Germany, for sure.
Awarded with the official votes by Tissot, official timekeeper of the 2023 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship. Vuoden 2023 IIHF-jääkiekon MM-kisojen virallinen ajanottaja Tissot palkitsee kummankin joukkueen parhaan pelaajan. Prize for Team Latvia is presented by Latvian palkinnon jakaa Tissot Nordic Brand Manager, Tissotin Pohjoismaiden brändipäällikkö Patrick Legois. Prize for Team Canada is presented by Canada palkinnon jakaa Sports Partnerships Coordinator Tissot, Tissotin urheilukumppanuuksien koordinaattori Evelyn Kieri. Best player of Team Latvia, Latvian paras pelaaja number 26, numero 26, Uvis Valinskis.
He's been coming to North America next year. He signed a free agent contract with the Florida Panthers.
It's been an eye-opener, an incredible skater. Will serve him well next year.
But you can see the disappointment on his face. They had it. It was within their grasp.
Going to the bronze medal game is good, but give up the lead in the third, not the 2.
Number 22,
Jack Quinn, the Ottawa native.
His game is ascending at the right time. He looks like he's 14. But boy, can he shoot the puck.
So now we'll get the top 3 players for each team.
Ladies and gentlemen, now the award of the 3 best players of each team of the tournament will be presented. Hyvät naiset ja herrat, seuraavaksi palkitaan joukkueiden 3 parasta pelaajaa tässä turnauksessa. The 3 best players awards are selected by each team. Joukkueet ovat valinneet 3 parasta pelaajansa. The 3 best players of Team Latvia are Latvian 3 parasta pelaajaa ovat number 16, Kaspar Staukovits.
Kasper Staukovits, the 35-year-old captain, named one of the top 3 players for Latvia.
Abels has been incredible all tournament long.
And Silovs took over 5 minutes of the game against Canada in the preliminary round and played every minute after that. And played really well. 926 save percentage coming in.
3 best players of Team Canada are Kanadan 3 parasta pelaajaa ovat number 35, Samuel Montembeau.
Sam Montembeau chose as one of Canada's top 3 players.
That's an obvious one. That's an obvious one. He has been great.
Krause with 5 goals for Canada. Also chosen. Wigger might be their MVP. He is.
He's brushing up on tournament MVP, depending on how this plays out for Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able, please rise and bring your hats for the national anthem of the winning team, Canada. Arvoisa yleisö, jos pystyt, pyydän nousemaan ylös, ottamaan hatun päästäsi ja kuulemaan voittajajoukkue Kanadan kansallishymnin.
special. I grew up watching Luch my entire life. He gave me that pass, and it ended up going in, but that was a pretty surreal feeling.
You were asked why you wanted to come to this tournament, and you said you love learning from older guys. What have you learned in this tournament so far?
It's hard to put into words. I mean, I've learned so much off the ice and in the locker room, and how to fit in with guys of that age, guys of that skill level, and how they practice their game habits. I think everything's just elevated when you get to this kind of level, and they were able to teach me a lot in that sense.
With the win today, you are now off to the gold medal game. What would leaving Finland with a gold medal draped around your neck mean to you?
It means everything to every guy in our locker room. I mean, you come here, you want to support or represent your country the best you can, and the best way to do that is by winning a gold medal. So hopefully we can do that and leave here with some hardware.
Adam, thank you. Congratulations. Rudolph's Latvia had the lead twice in that game, ultimately slipping away in the third period. What made Canada so difficult to solve today?
I mean, they're good players. I mean, I think they had played a hell of a game. You know, we were playing the same way we've been playing the whole tournament. We're blocking shots. We're playing tight defensively, and you know, there's some good players in that room there, and they came out in the third and capitalized on their chances.
Despite the loss, Latvia has been on a magical run, and in roughly 24 hours, you'll compete for a bronze medal. What would that mean to you?
Yeah, I think, you know, as much as it sucks to not go to finals, I think we just got to refocus, and, you know, we can still take medals home. So I think, yeah, short memory, forget the game, and go out tomorrow and give everything.
This is the first time ever that Latvia has the chance to compete for a medal at a World Championship. Thousands of your fans have made the trip here to Finland. Is there a message for the fans and all the support they've shown to your team?
Jā, es gribu pateikt visiem, kas ieradušies ir uz Tamperi. Jūsu atbalsts, protams, nav arēna Rīga, bet tas ir ļoti tuvu, un patiešām mēs abrīnojam visus Latvijas fans. Jūs esat baigie maleči, un es ceru, rītā ieradīsies vēl vairāk, un mēs mēģināsim atdot visu, ko varam.
Thank you.
Paldies.
One more. That's it. Look at it, boys. Yeah. Fucking DJ. Fuck yeah, I need it, boy. There you go. Hey, how are we? Let's go. You got one of those big ones? Yeah. Holy fuck. Big old fucking bird. Yeah. Put that on. DJ, spin that shit. Oh. Spinning the shit. Oh. Spin it. Oh. Shit is being spun. Spin it. Little squeeze. Hey, wait. We gotta wait for more guys in there before you play it. It's a long song. Go. Now we'll play twice. We'll just keep it rolling. Oh, beer's on a back. Yeah, boy. I know.
The 2023 IIHF app. Featuring all statistics of your favorite players, your favorite teams, and real-time game updates at your fingertips. Find the Showverse in the IIHF app, explore the action, and dive into a new digital world. Play and win amazing prizes. Available on all smart devices, in multiple languages. The 2023 IIHF app, powered by Skoda. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play.
beverage with less impact and offering a sustainable room experience.
There's many forms of abuse.
Abuse, harassment can happen.
Time to stand up and make a difference is now.
It's important to stay true to your own integrity, to the values that you believe in. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. Don't be the one that stands by and lets it happen. I've lived it, I've seen it, and enough is enough.
The very heart of our sport is at stake.
And now it is more crucial than ever to keep.